Good morning, friends. In the last lectures, we studied hydrostatic bearings and hydrodynamic bearings, and what are the losses that is to be considered, friction losses that is in the bearings, put step bearings and collar bearings, and another is the hydrodynamic bearings, full bearings, and next is the partial bearings. So today we will see, as per our syllabus, Reynolds equations, so this Reynolds equations which is applicables the theory of hydrodynamic bearing is based on a Reynolds equation. So for the following are the assumptions for this equation. So what are the assumptions? Reynolds in the Reynolds equations. So here's the general materials, the general of the shaft, that is to be considered as a rigid materials, and bearing materials also rigid materials. And next is the lubricant obeys Newton's law of the viscosity. This is the first assumptions. Second, the lubricating oil is incompressible. And third is the inertia forces in the oil above the films are negligible. The viscosity of the lubricant is constant, and the shaft and the bearings are rigid. There is a continuously supply of the lubricant. The effect of the curvatures of the films with respect to film thickness is neglected. So these are the some of the assumptions. So here's first assumptions. The law of the lubricants obeys. First is the lubricants obeys Newton's law of viscosity. Second assumptions, the journal of shaft and bearing material is considered rigid. Third, the continuous lubricant supply Next, the viscosity of lubricant is constant. fifth, I think 6 assumptions. The inertia forces in the lubricating oil is considered negligible. And sixth is the related with the film thickness. The effect above the curvatures above the film, the effect of curvature of film with respect to film thickness, is neglected. So these are the 6 assumptions that is to be considered in the Reynolds equations, and these Reynolds equations which is used for the theorem of the hydrodynamic bearing is based on the Reynolds equations. So this is generally used for the hydrodynamic bearings. So in the hydrodynamic bearings, yes, suppose this is hydrodynamic bearings. And this is lubricating hole or oil groove. This is oil groove. This is journal of shaft. Now this is lubricating films, fluid element. Fluid. So this is bearing. And this shaft is rotating. So this is Reynolds equations. So this Reynolds equations which is these are the assumptions. So we will consider, and this is Reynolds assumptions. What are the that is considered in the Reynolds equations for hydrodynamic bearings. So next is the Raimondi and Bode charts, which is useful for the design of the sliding contact bearings. So this is Raimondi and Bode method. So as per here, there is no exact solutions of Reynolds equations for a journal bearing with finite length. However, Raimondi and Boyd's researched solutions of bearings in computer with basis of iterations. Iteration technique. So this is Raimondi and this is in the form of the charts. The result of this technique available in the form of chart and tables, charts and table. The performance of the bearing is expressed in terms of dimensionless parameter. So the radial clearance of C is otherwise the radial clearance C is given by capital R minus small r. So capital R, C is a radial clearance, capital R is a radius of journal of shaft, and small r is the radius of bush bearing. So by using this you can calculate or what is the radial clearance. So similarly other parameters also you can calculate, and by using Riemann design boards, charts and methods, means tables, you can solve or you can design the sliding contact bearings. So actually this is the theoretical, this is the theory Riemann design board and charts, but due to the limitations of the syllabus, this is because in the first unit rolling contact bearing and sliding contact bearings, and only rolling contact bearings problems and sliding contacts theory is given in the syllabus. So that's why I am skipping the problems related with the sliding contact bearings. So I am not going detail in the Riemann design Boyd's methods, because by using this Riemann design Boyd's methods you can design the sliding contact bearings. So there are such type of the equations that is given in the design data book or in the various books, you can refer if you want to refer. So this is the Riemann design boards methods. So this is in terms of the charts and tables. So by using these charts and tables you can solve the problems related with the or design above the sliding contact bearings. So here's in the design above the sliding contact bearings, what is importance is the load carrying capacity above the bearings, and what are the here's design above the bearings. Is based on two methods. First is based on load carrying capacity, and second method is the by considerations of frictional losses. So these are the two methods which we can use for the design above the sliding contact bearings, that is based on the Riemann design Boyd's methods. So this is these are the two methods that you can use. So next is the rise above the temperature rise. So what is the effect of the temperature rise in the bearings? So that is very important, as you know. So what is the effect of the temperature rise? If the temperatures of the lubricating oil is increased, means up to 120 degrees centigrades, so lubricating oils oxidize, and that lose its property of the viscosity, means the viscosity index that will decrease. So in the lubrication systems, minimum or means the lubricating oil temperature that is restricted up to 90 degrees centigrade, means the allowed temperatures, it is minimum temperatures which is to be allowed is the 90 degrees centigrade, and maximum temperature which is to be allowed in the lubricating systems is that is the 120 degrees centigrade. So because means above 120 degrees centigrade lubricating oil oxidize. So that's why here's heat is generated, heat is generated in lubricating oil due to viscosity of the is in the bearing. So here's heat is generated in the lubricating oils machine in the bearings, and that heat is to be carried from the bearings. Otherwise what will happen, if the friction is the more frictions and if the stay time of the lubricating oil is more, so rise up of the temperatures and in the bearing. So that's why we have to allow the minimum type of the means we have to consider the length to diameter ratio. So length to diameter ratio means appropriate length to diameter ratio is to be made means average length. So generally length above the bearings means the length above the journals, and that is equal to diameter above the shaft, journal shafts. The frictional work is converted into heat, and that heat is to be carried out, which increases the temperatures, which increases the temperature of lubricating oil. Assuming that the flow of lubricating oil is carry the heat from the bearing. So try to understand this. So what may be the heat generated that is to be carried, assuming the flow up of the lubricating oil. Flow of lubricating oil is carry the heat from the bearings. So that's why heat generated is given by. So here's, so what may be the heat generated, so that can be calculated by using formula. Heat generated equal to formula 2 pi Ns. Ns is the speed up of the journal or shaft speed, 2 pi Ns multiplied by F W R into 10 to the power minus 6. So F is the coefficient of frictions of lubricating oil. W is the, generally this load is the radial load. R is the radius of bearing. Now heat carried equal to, so this is heat generated equal to Hg, heat carried equal to Hc mCp into delta T. M is the mass of the lubricating oil, M is the mass of lubricating oil, kg per second. Cp is the specific heat lubricant oil, and delta T is the rise in temperature. Again delta T equal to, or otherwise average temperatures equal to initial temperature plus delta T divided by 2. So this is average temperatures of the lubricating oil which is to be allowed, and this Ti is the initial temperature of lubricating oil. So this is the average temperatures of the lubricating oil which is to be allowed. So this is initial temperature, so that may be 20 degrees centigrade for 25 or 30 degrees centigrade, and this is the rise above the temperatures which is in the maximum temperatures rise. So that may be rise above the temperatures 50 degrees centigrade, 60 degrees centigrade, and divided by 2. So this is the average temperature which is to be allowed. So according to these average temperatures, we have to design the sliding contact bearings. So try to understand, this is the heat generated and this is the heat carried. So this should be equals. Heat generated, this is equal to heat carried. Otherwise what will happen if the heat carried capacity is less as compared to heat generation capacity? So here's the rise above the temperatures, that will more, and more heat is to be present in the bearings. So because of that, because the machines and this shaft is continuously running, so that heat is to be carried from that. So that's why this should be equal. If this is less, so more heat, and there may be losing lubricating oil its viscosity. So that's why this these conditions is very important. Heat generated is equal to heat carried, and here's minimum temperature 90 degrees centigrade and maximum rise of temperature, this is equal to 120 degrees centigrade. We'll see this is in the conditions selections about the bearings, our bearing design and selections about the parameters. Now we'll see, so today's last article is bearing design and selections parameter of parameters. So what are the different parameters which is to be considered during the selections of the bearings? So here's starting loads. So what are the maximum temperature which is to be allowed, minimum temperature which is to be allowed. So what is the load carrying capacity above the bearings, what is the ratio, that is the length above the bearings and radius above the or diameter above the bearings. So that is to be considered the full, only 5 points, 6 points. It is required to select suitable values for the following parameters. Length, first is the length to diameter ratio. Second, unit bearing pressure third startup load fourth radial clearance fifth, so I think this is fifth. Minimum oil film thickness, minimum oil film thickness, and last is minimum oil film temperature, minimum oil film temperature. So here's first piece is the length to diameter ratio. Length to diameter ratio means suppose this is a length of the bearings, this is rotating, and this is bush bearing, this is lubricating oils, and this is bearing material. Now suppose this is the length and D is the diameters. So here's this length to diameter ratio. So generally this ratio L by D equal to 0.522. And this is 2. If we are considering if L by D, so this is equal to 2. So these bearings are called as long bearings. So when these bearings are called as long bearing, and if L by D is less than 1, this bearing is called as short bearing, and if L by D is equal to 1, these bearings are called as square bearing. So what is the advantages that we'll see? If the L by D, this bearings means if the length of the journals, suppose this is the length of the bearings, so this is more and this is the diameters. Suppose this is 2 times. So what is happens? So these bearings are called as long bearings. So such type of the bearings we can use these bearings for more load carrying capacity. So such type of the bearings we can use for the when the high load is used. But limitations, why this is limitations? Because if the length of the journals is more, so the flow of the lubricating oil which is in the bin in the wedges of the bearings and wedges of the shaft, and that is stay time of the lubricating oil is more. So because of that the rise of the temperatures is more. So that's why such type of the bearings is used for the more loading carrying capacity. And this L by D, so this is bearings is the ideal bearings, and L by D, this is the bearings where is the load carrying capacity. So this is the generally more suitable conditions, because in these conditions if the length is more, so this is the pressures, and if the L by D is equal to 2 and distribution sum of the pressures L by D equal to 1. So here it may be, so that's why this is the more desirable L by D, or actually this is the most populous. L by D is equal to 1. This is not allow, because here's more amount of the heat is generated because of the state amount of the lubricating soil is more. So next is the bearing pressures. So bearing pressures that you can calculate by using this is the static loads. So pressures divided by length of the bearings multiplied by D. So this is the projected area. So this allow unit bearing pressures is low, as if the unit pressure is low, so that requires it is the less lubricating oils, and means during the if the less bearing pressures, so we requires less amount of the lubricating oils, or there is a less frictions occurs between the bearings and journal shaft. So the startup of the loads, this should be minimum generally Newton per mm, means this is the startup of this unit pressures is 2 Newton per mm squares, and the startup of the loads, this is also should be minimums. This is actually this is startup of the load 2 Newton per mm squares. So if the startup of the load is less, so we require the less amount of the lubricating soils, and chances above the minimum wearing above the bush. So radial clearance, equal to this is 0.01 into R, or radial clearance. So this is the minimum radial clearance which is allowed, 0.01. R is the radius above the shaft. So this is the minimum radial above the clearance which is required. So maximum that you can increase, because otherwise if this clearance is less, so it means that type of the fit type of the bearings, and there is no any space for the flow up of the lubricating soils. And the minimum oil film thickness, so this is equal to 0.02 into, I think this is R. Three digit or 4 digit, I will check. 4 digit correct. So the minimum oil film thickness which is important is the 0. Because this is related with the surface finish. If the surface finish is good, so this is the minimum lubricating oil film thickness. If the surface is the goods, or there is no any rough, if the rough surface, so that times this film thickness is more than this formula, because if the rough finish means that may be wear rate above the bush bearings, that will, or the scratches may be occurs on the bearings, because generally bearing material is soft as compared to the journal materials, because replacement of the bearings is easy as compared to replacement of the shaft. So replacement of the shaft, that is the very costly process. So only if the shaft of the shaft that is wear out, so that wear out shaft by weldings, we can reconditions, or we can means by weldings, or we can fill up that materials, welded materials, and after that machinings, so we can maintain that size above the bearings. But that is the costly process. So because of the during the weldings, here so the chances of the bending above the shaft. So for avoid that, the surface roughness above the shaft, that should be clear, and this is the radial clearance. This is the minimum clearance that should be consider. And minimum oil film temperatures. So the minimum oil film temperatures is 122 so minimum oil film temperatures up to 90 degrees centigrade and maximum oil temperature is 120 or 125 degrees centigrade. And if the rise above the 120 degrees centigrade, 125 degrees centigrade, so the lubricating oil oxidize, and so if the Babbitt materials, if the Babbitt materials will be softened. So material softens means, so that is because of the rise of the temperatures, more wear rate. So that's why this is the minimum at 90 degrees centigrade or 120 degrees centigrade maximum temperature, oil temperature, which is to be allowed. So up to 190 degrees centigrade temperature can be rise, but that is not the correct methods. So here we have to only allow 90 degrees centigrade or 120 degrees centigrade is the maximum temperatures of the lubricating oil. So these are the some of the criteria, bearing designs and selections of the parameters which is to be considered during the operations of the bearings or design above the bearings. So this is the combinations, that is the design above the bearings, and as per the considerations about the life above the bearings or maintenance point of view, these are the some of the parameters that is which is to be studied, and these are the important parameters. I think today is sufficient for the design means sliding contact bearings. So in the next class we will see, so what are the different types of the lubricating oils and what is the comparison between rolling contact bearing and sliding contact bearings. So that we will see in the next class, and we can complete this first unit. So we can start the second units. Thank you. Thank you.